Good evening. Huh. Well, I got good news on Thursday. If you've been keeping up, I had my website was broken, and no thanks to the host, I was able to get it fixed. So they had a option to where I could download a full account backup that went back, that was backdated like a week. And so that's what I did. It took forever to download it, but I downloaded it, and I was able to take all the files out that I needed to be able to revert the website back to what it was on that date. So but anyway, so that's good news. Not that there's anything that major on it, but I just really wasn't in the mood to get started going crazy with that. So, pardon me. So anyway, other than that, I spent quite a bit of the weekend working on what they call repaints for aircraft for Flight Simulator. So I was enjoying that. I guess I could show you real quick a couple of well, here I'll show you. I actually have them posted. Wow. This one here has been downloaded 47 times already, and I just posted it today. So that's one of the pictures there. Here, that blows them up. Another picture there. So, and then this one's been downloaded 22 times. So, anyway, just something I enjoy doing. So, been busy doing, like I say, doing a bit of that. And then keeping up on the news. I've certainly been keeping up on the headlines, putting them out. And I'll remind folks, even on our days off, I'm putting out headlines. So if you go to our Twitter, you'll get the headlines that I'm putting out and that I put out on the show right straight from Twitter when I put them out. So anyway, a lot of craziness going on. The AUKUS deal is really raising a ruckus. Sorry, I couldn't resist. It is. And we could very possibly see another shift in alliances, if you will. France is kind of pissed off, if you couldn't tell, and it's hard to say what they're going to do. Another interesting thing, and we covered this, was in India getting the S-500 missile system. Well, let me ask you this. How much longer do you think it's going to be before Turkey gets the S-500 missile system? As you know, this whole AUKUS deal, not only will we be providing nuclear-powered submarines to Australia, but we'll also be outfitting them with, I'm assuming, military equipment and humans. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Everybody has got something to say on it, pretty much. China's not happy at all. I don't think Russia's too pleased. And, of course, like I said, France is pretty pissed off about the situation. And you have to take these things in consideration, because what you have to understand is countries equate to bases. Okay, so if you have a country that's an alliance with another country, they'll most certainly let them land there and refuel or do whatever else they need to do. So having these countries scattered out like that, that are essentially alliance countries, that makes it all the easier for a major conflict. So, I'll tell you what, I don't know if there's anything stopping nukes now. That was the other thing. North Korea, little man shooting off a couple of more rockets. Yeah, and him more or less unveiling the train system that he's got. And I do believe that Russia said that they were going to, some time ago, they said that they were going to re-enable their train system that they had. It was just, I guess, multiple trains that went across the country that were armed with nuclear missiles. So apparently North Korea is doing the very same thing. And it's probably gonna get interesting. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot more to come. As we've been talking about here, we've got so many different things happening from so many different directions, and that's kind of what concerns me with it. I do see global conflict coming. We know that we've got massive shortages coming. I'll tell you what, I think prices are really going to skyrocket now. I've been hearing horror stories about hamburger and, beef. So I don't know. I don't know what it is here. We won't know until we go shopping again. So I guess I could log into Walmart and look, but we don't get ours from Walmart. But where we get ours, there's no way I could find out without calling or going there. I'm telling you, it's gonna get interesting. Gonna get interesting, and I think that all of the what do you want to call it? The tension, the stress, whatever, the shortages of the economic problems and all that, they're all going to lead to countries going head to head with one another. And there's a lot of countries that's feeling a lot of hurt from all the COVID stuff that they did. So, I mean, I honestly don't even see how all these countries are still keeping it going. I really have no idea. Oh, wow. Shelves are bare in Connecticut? Yikes. We do the pickup thing, and so we actually don't go inside the store. I don't know how bad it is inside the store. I know as far as online, the shopping, it seems like they pretty well have what we need. I mean, once in a while they got to substitute out a different brand or something like that, but that's about it. So, however, that's not to say that's not going to change, because I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be a little harder to come by here soon. So, or a lot more expensive. Thought I heard rumors that coffee might go up again or something. Not sure if that's that. Yeah, because it was just the other day that I saw a story. I'll have to look into that again. I don't think it was one I shared out. I probably should have. Don't mess with my coffee. Anyway. So, I would keep I would definitely keep an ear and an eye open for things kicking off, because depending on what happens, it could go quick. If let's just say North Korea did go stupid and launch, um, that's probably going to get ugly quick. You know, that I think is probably the only likelihood of just seemingly out of the blue launch. I don't think China or Russia or any of the other countries would just out of the blue. With at this point in time, I don't see that. Um, we're definitely in a heightened state of tension. I mean, we're definitely in Cold War. However, uh, I don't think that anybody's fingers are on the button right now, and they certainly were during the Cold War. The tension is high, but um, the actions, there's a lot of back and forth going on, but I don't think that there's missile silos waiting open and stuff like that. Not that that kind of stuff would be even necessary at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. All we can do is hope for the best. That's all we can do. I know China. I don't know what they're up to now, but I know that they kind of stated their intentions. They were going to go possibly cruise past Hawaii. Um, who knows? And as long as they're in international waters and stuff, as long as they don't break any laws or anything, who's to say anything? But I'll tell you what, the U.S. surely isn't going to like them hanging out for any length of time. We'll see. And I don't trust a lot of what we quote unquote know. What do I mean by that? Well, in many instances, when you hear about how well another country's armed or whatever like that, a lot of times you hear a lot of propaganda. And you'll hear things like, oh, they don't have this, or they don't have that, or they don't have this capability, or you better make damn sure of that. Because I'll tell you what, China is one hell of a technological country. China's government, and you can't deny this, has taken in just truckloads of cash over the last how many years, decades? Unbelievable amounts of money, just from the United States alone, not to mention all the other countries as well. So China has been made a very, very wealthy country. And you know damn well that they poured a lot of that money into military. And I wouldn't be surprised with what they pull out of the hat, especially when it comes to like unmanned equipment. And I'm sure we've got it as well. However, it's going to make things very interesting. Going to make things very interesting. And I do think that at some point it will come to that. How long will it last? How bad will it get? Who's to say? And I don't know how imminent it could be. I mean, things could escalate quickly, or this could just drag on and drag on. God knows the COVID things just drug on and drug on. Who knows? I'll tell you. I hope folks are ready. So I haven't been looking over at the chat. Oh man. I I really don't I really don't know exactly who all France would align with. I guess Russia and China and um like I say, that gives them another stop. Regardless, that gives them another stop. Anyway, I don't know what else. I guess I could throw some headlines your way because there is a whole lot of them, and get out of here. I kind of beat. I've been seriously hard at. So today, I spent quite a while using a program called Blender. I'm not familiar with it. I mean, I've used it a little bit, but not much. What? Oh, um. So anyway, it's for painting these aircraft, and it's I normally do it what I call manually in Photoshop, and however, there are advantages and sometimes disadvantages to being able to paint inside of what they call paint inside of Blender. I call it texture because I really don't paint like with a brush. But anyway, so man, I fought with that probably most of the day. Most of the day, wound up giving up at what I was trying to achieve with it. But anyway, I've got. Well, you saw two. I put the pictures up for two of the aircraft. I've actually got two more that are actually ready to put up. So probably gonna get on that tomorrow. One of them for sure I'm gonna put out tomorrow. Told Jen I'm gonna try to pump one out a day until I run out of camo patterns. It's actually pretty easy to do as long as you got a good what they call a paint kit. If not, then it becomes a little more of a bear. Alright. Fun time. Like I said, a lot of craziness. Um, Remember starting out with Friday's headlines. FAA imposes no-fly zone for drones after shocking footage shows 10,000 plus migrants packed under Texas bridge. We've even got another headline where Alex Jones goes there, so hang on for that. No amount of Chinese propaganda can knock Australia from nuclear submarine treaty with U.S. and U.K., says Defense Minister. Chinese space station builder safely returned to Earth after breaking national record in orbit. Again, this is Friday. Russia to slow down payments to cryptocurrency exchanges as Moscow seeks to stop citizens' impulse purchases of Bitcoin. Indonesia deeply concerned by arms race and power projection in region after Australian nuclear sub deal. Another country, by the way, sorry for clearing my throat so much, but another country that's speaking out on it. Fitch downgrades global GDP forecast due to pandemic-related setbacks. China officially applies to join Asia-Pacific Free Trade Pact. Australia made very clear to France submarine deal could be scrapped, PM Morrison says, after Paris brands it a stab in the back. And again, this is Friday. Apple and Google delete Navalny's smart voting app after top Russian officials accuse U.S. tech giants of election interference. Victoria Nuland, key American figure in Ukraine's bloody 2014 Maidan, once meeting with Moscow despite visa ban, says Kommersant. Ebola defeated after 40-year fight against a terrifying and deadly disease, professor who discovered virus declares. Andrew Neil attacks GB News just days after resigning as chairman, comparing it to fake news, Fox News on BBC. 2 killed, 1 injured in eastern Netherlands, suspect arrested, reportedly armed with a crossbow. South Africa top court rejects ex-President Zuma's bid to overturn 15-month jail sentence. A UK police accused by journalists of helping climate change activists block M25 motorway. Mixed signals from U.S. as Blinken deletes tweet pledging Washington support to Hong Kong Antifa government protesters. Or anti-government, sorry. Antifa, whatever. Terror planners must be expelled from Germany. Merkel's likely successor says a Syrian, now I can't even talk, a Syrian teen accused of plot to attack synagogue. Alright, still on Friday's news. U.S. tech giants about to get their hands on India's $24 billion worth of farm data. How do you like them apples? Russian elections, communists set sights on major gains, but Western pundits are already dusting off their rigged vote rhetoric. Chinese planes enter Taiwan's air defense zone just one day after Taipei announced extra $9 billion to beef up its military. A dolphinarium in Russia's Far East celebrates as baby beluga whale is born in domestic facility for the first time in history. Russian natural gas reserves to last another century, says Gazprom. Destruction of the Good Friday Accords would prevent U.S.-UK post-Brexit trade deal, UK House Speaker warns. America's evacuation of troops from Afghanistan looked more like a downright escape than a hasty withdrawal, Putin says. Inquiry launched into European Commission chief's refusal to hand over text messages she exchanged with Pfizer CEO. New Zealand cricket chiefs order urgent withdrawal of players from Pakistan amid fears of repeat of deadly Sri Lanka terror attack. Trump won't attend rally for Capitol Hill rioters, but slams two-tiered U.S. justice system for persecuting them, says reports. RT lodges complaint with Russian media watchdog after Facebook takes down Instagram page of its Redfish digital content project. FDA meets to decide whether to approve Pfizer booster shots as company releases stats showing major decline in vaccine efficacy. Remember, this is Friday. This story's gone a long way, too. I should have mentioned that during the earlier part of the show. It's big news too. I mean, there's just, it's insane. Wales to impose mandatory vaccine certificates for nightclubs and large events from October. Brexit is making more British. Farage and supporters, making us more British. Farage and supporters celebrate return of crown stamp on pint glasses as victory for sovereignty. One of China's biggest property developers on brink of bankruptcy. Global status of greenback shrinking as countries look to trade in alternative currencies, says Bank of Russia. French billboard owner hit with 10,000 euro fine for depicting President Macron as Hitler on COVID protest poster. What a bad, bad man. Conservative activist Laura Loomer tests positive for COVID, calls vaccines unsafe as critics celebrate karma getting her. Let's see. There are problems you can smash. New York City mayor posts bizarre video of illegal dirt bikes being crushed as a warning. The U.S. fight against Nord Stream 2 is part of proxy war against Russia in Washington's attempt to hold on to power, says an analyst. Appeals court overturns controversial ruling on child gender treatment in the UK. Doctors can prescribe puberty blockers to under 16s. A Russian man suspected of murdering family of 3 and setting off explosion at police station is found in a car with an arsenal of weapons. A New York judge rules Prince Andrew's accuser can serve him with legal papers via his U.S. lawyer. Remember, this is Friday. Blinken calls for more normalization of ties with Israel as he celebrates Trump-brokered Abraham Accords. A 10 to be tried for Brussels bombings that killed 32, with 6 suspects already facing trial for Paris attacks. Second Dutch minister quits after Parliament censures cabinet over mishandling of Afghanistan evacuation. A chess legend sues Netflix for $5 million over sexist claim that she never faced men and insult of being called Russian and not Georgian. Well, TikTok and Twitter trolls and Francis crosshairs as education minister intervenes in bizarre high school cyberbullying campaign. Pentagon readies 100 National Guard troops ahead of rally for Capitol Hill rioters. Remember, it's Friday's news, so let's see. San Francisco's Democrat mayor parties with BLM founder at jazz club and shrugs off violating her own mask mandate. Florida landlord determined to force tenants to get COVID-19 vaccine or be evicted, even as governor's office insists it's illegal. So I guess the governor's office is trying to fight the guy on it. Sorry, I had to have a drink of coffee or a gulp. Good stuff. Let's see. U.S. admits Kabul drone strike killed 10 civilians, including 7 children, and no ISIS-K terrorist, and no one will be punished. That's absolutely insane. NFL anti-vax firebrand responds to vaccine passport mandate by offering to buy away tickets for unvaccinated fans. Irish and Italian privacy watchdogs sound alarm over Facebook's new smart glasses. I guess so. Let's see. FDA advisory panel votes against COVID-19 boosters for general population, but may yet approve it for the elderly. France recalls ambassadors from the U.S. and Australia, citing exceptional gravity of AUKUS submarine deal. Let's see. There was blood everywhere. Brave teenage jiu-jitsu champion downed street thug who bit his ear in attack in England. Crazy. Let's see. Still on Friday. Court blocks North Carolina voter ID law, says it discriminates against black people. Antibody cocktail touted by Trump as cure for COVID-19 to be launched across UK next week for coronavirus patients. Here we go. Alex Jones files lawsuit against the FAA over drone restriction at border crossing where thousands of migrants are gathering. A New York governor releases nearly 200 detainees from crisis-ridden Rikers Island jail, where staff shortages saw inmates running the asylum. Sorry, I'll get it out. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's see. That wouldn't be Cuomo, though, right? No, that's Kathy Hochul. The new one. I was going to say. Biden will hold global. I didn't know if there's like a period of time or if he like immediately tucked his tail and ran. So, Biden will hold global COVID summit focused on bringing higher level of ambition, pushing vaccines. Syria suffers widespread blackout as after attack on gas pipeline feeding key power station, says electricity minister. Let's see. Capitol Police says threats justify heightened security at rally over January 6th political prisoners. Threats. U.S. Justice Department charges 138 in massive fraud schemes, including over $1.1 billion in telemedicine and COVID-19 scams. Social media recoils as Bloomberg praises Amazon's warehouse-based exurban factory towns as the future of working class. How do you like that? Minnesota plan to reduce police shootings at traffic stops with clear bags draws contempt. France's vital partner and oldest ally, U.S. says Australia regrets recall of French envoys over nuclear submarine deal. Freedom fries back on the menu. U.S.-France row over the submarine deal with Australia revives Bush-era meme. There were freedom fries way back then. I remember you don't remember freedom fries after 9/11? Freedom fries. Biden adds Biden adds measles to the list of quarantinable diseases after infections among Afghan refugees. How do you like them apples? Australian police clash with anti-lockdown protesters after failing to suppress dissent with overwhelming force and threat of arrests. Boeing improves its jet demand forecast, but next 10 years will still expected to be below pre-pandemic levels. I can't even speak. Oh wait, we made it to somewhere. Oh, we've been doing it. Ah, yeah. Okay, the last few have been yesterday's. Yay. Hang on, that deserves a drink of coffee. Should I aggravate the dog? No. Jill's like, no. Anyway. Alright, so we are on yesterday's news. Evergrande execs redeemed investment products ahead of looming bankruptcy. Russia resumes wheat exports to Algeria after 5-year break. Washington's scapegoating of Pakistan for U.S. failure in Afghanistan was most painful thing, PM Khan tells RT. Subway sandwiches ridicule France and AUKUS submarine controversy with ad boasting of $90 billion cheaper subs. I thought that was pretty creative myself. Ankara lashes out at EU declaration Cyprus and mitigation issues, says it's biased, lacking vision, and disconnected from reality. Navalny allies say Google demanding they delete smart voting list as Moscow accuses American firm of election interference. The law doesn't apply in America anymore, hacktivist Marty Gottsfield tells RT from jail. Well, no duh. Malaysian PM says AUKUS will be catalyst for nuclear arms race as ex-diplomat warns Australia is now isolated in the region. So here's another country. There was Indonesia, Malaysia. Texas DPS, let's see. Texas DPS flies Fox News crew in its chopper over Del Rio migrant hotspot after federal government grounded channel's drone. Energy crisis stretches to UK food supply chain, already bruised by labor shortage amid Brexit and COVID-19. Chris Christie's family bar mitzvah blamed for COVID-19 outbreak that caused return to virtual learning for New Jersey schools, says reports. It was Chris Christie's fault. Several injured after car rams into restaurant terrace in France's Fontainebleau. I probably said that wrong. Fontainebleau. Who knows? Kid gloves are off today. Liberal critics celebrate massive police response to justice for J6 Raleigh. Again, this was yesterday. France pledges to defend truly multilateral international order with India amid diplomatic row with Australia and the U.S. So there's France and India. Calls by U.S. and EU for political boycott of Winter Olympics in China are a disease and nonsense, Russian Foreign Ministry warns. So this isn't a good thing either. A COVID-stricken Irishman rescued from hospital by anti-vaxxer, then readmitted and put on ventilator after condition worsens. Let's see. Justice for J6 Raleigh goes off without incident despite warnings of violence and endless media coverage. U.S. Homeland Security vows to increase removal flights as 14,000 plus migrants gather under Texas bridge. Lying, contempt, and crisis in relations, French foreign minister says NATO must take note as he lashes out at U.S. and Australia over AUKUS deal. Antifa burns barricades and clash with police at protest against trial of left-wing activist in Germany. Again, this is yesterday's news. Fauci insists 3 shots will be needed for full vaccination after FDA advisory panel rejects universal COVID boosters. Do you hear that? I'm going to repeat it. Fauci insists that 3 shots, 3, will be needed for full vaccination. However, FDA advisory panel rejects universal COVID boosters. Just reading the headline. Slowly. SpaceX's all-civilian Inspiration 4 mission splashes down off of Florida. Again, this is yesterday. Syria repairs gas pipeline and restores power after ISIS terrorist network plunged Damascus into the darkness. Riot cops at Justice for J6 Raleigh detained masked man with a gun and a badge. Apparently it was a cop that, yeah. Well, not necessarily a cop, an agent. Somebody with a badge. Okay, we are to this morning. U.S. naval test launches, well, stuff I put out. This probably happened yesterday. U.S. Navy test launches 2 life extended Trident II ballistic missiles amid row over nuclear-powered subdeal with Australia. A Russian gold production dips slightly and silver output grows. A U.S. Southcom amuses Twitter followers with pics celebrating U.S. Air Force birthday featuring Russian warplanes. Oh my gosh. Israeli forces catch last 2 Gilboa prison escapees after 2-week manhunt. Let's see. And we are to today's news. I think I said that. China's cash-strapped developer Evergrande, or I don't know. Who cares? Starts repaying wealth product investors with property. I guess maybe the developer cares. Bitcoin's power consumption for 2021 has already surpassed the whole 2020, said study. AUKUS submarine deal shows UK readiness to be hard-headed in defending own interests, new foreign secretary insists. A boxing ring to ballot box, superstar, Pacquiao, something like that, confirms Philippines presidential run and gets hit with backlash from LGBT community. I guess he's probably too mean. Australia's interest comes first. PM Morrison says he doesn't regret canceling submarines deal with France. A Bank of China, Beijing to steadily expand cross-border use of yuan in 2021. Elderly Australian woman knocked down and pepper sprayed by police during Melbourne protests against lockdowns. Russia claims hostile EU report listing factually wrong, grievances and demanding more sanctions as attempt at election meddling. So everything is now election meddling with Russia. Russia and ASEAN unveil plan for economic cooperation. This is a movement. More F. Joe Biden chants reported in U.S. college football stadiums. Well, yeah. India plans to reopen for international tourism within 10 days, reports say, with will issue free visas to the first 500,000 travelers. Volcano erupts on Spain's Canary Islands, ejecting large plumes of smoke into the air. A Labor MP rallies support after trans activists allegedly scare her away from attending party conference. German toy factory reveals teddy bear dedicated to Angela Merkel ahead of her resignation. It's kind of almost scary looking. I mean, seriously, look at it. Look at it. Stare at it. It's kind of scary looking. No, thank you. Japan's conservative PM contender wants to host U.S. intermediate-range missiles as deterrent against North Korea and China. So, yeah, that was one that I forgot to mention. Japan. Yep. And that's a big one. To be hosting missiles. We are appalled. BBC apologizes for losing murder victims' clothes loaned to network by schoolgirl's mother. Let's back up. There is a high likelihood that the U.S. trying to put nuclear missiles in Japan is going to be a serious problem, because that also includes your radar systems that they use with those, and that's also going to be a problem for these other countries. They're not going to be cool with that. So if that's something that the U.S. tries to force, that would be something that could start conflict, and I mean hard conflict. So, just saying. AOC's tax the rich dress. Designer reportedly runs sweatshop of unpaid interns and owes thousands in taxes. Surprise, surprise. Polls close in Russia's parliamentary election after last ballots cast in westernmost Kaliningrad region. Russia's Communist Party predicted to slash government's majority in first exit poll after voting in parliamentary elections ends. A military aircraft crashes in Texas neighborhood, causing serious injuries, power outage, and damage. Nobody on the ground was severely injured. The pilots were severely injured. However, there was pretty bad, property damage, and looks like it could be a few days for that area to completely get power back. So. Majorities favor Biden's vaccine mandate as well as masking in schools. Yeah, majority. I'm going to say it again. Majority favor Biden's vaccine mandate as well as masking in schools. Now listen to this. A Fox News poll shows. That's concerning to me because personally, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Nope. Not even by a 51%. I don't believe that. Nope. Absolutely not. Not a vaccine. Not a vaccine mandate. No. No. You might be able to get over 50% to agree to masking, but the vaccine mandate, I'm not buying that. Girls will return to secondary schools in Afghanistan, but only after safe environment is set up, Taliban tells the media. Trump says border crisis turning U.S. into cesspool of humanity as thousands of Del Rio migrants could be released into the country. A French defense minister cancels meeting with British counterpart amid outrage over AUKUS deal, says reports. And we got a number one up there. Let's see. Musk mocks Biden for ignoring SpaceX's historic all-civilian orbital mission. Oh yeah, that happened. That was really cool. I think they went up, and I think I mentioned that on Thursday night's show, that they had went up. And I didn't watch them splash down, but heard they did. So, anywho, that would be the headlines. And I am going to slide on out of here and chillax for the rest of the evening. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to report on tomorrow. So anyway, I'm out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow and see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.